Hello everybody. Today we'll be talking about oil. What is it used for, and why are we so dependent on it? Now, there are 4 different types of oils. We're not talking about natural oils that are present in plants on your skin. We're talking about, the black oozy stuff that comes up from the earth. So the first of these 4 oils are the light distillates. These include jet fuel, gasoline, kerosene, light virgin naphtha, petroleum ether, petroleum spirit, and petroleum naphtha. Now, for our purposes, these 4, we won't be covering anything on them because most people don't know what the heck they are in the first place. But what you should know is that these light distillates are highly volatile, so they'll release a lot of energy in a very, very quick amount of time, and it doesn't require a lot to set them off. Now, the second of these 4 groups of oils are called middle distillates. These are most commonly the grade 1 and grade 2 fuel oils for heating your home in the wintertime. Now, almost all of these middle distillates are domestic fuels, so you'll see these being transported around in trucks. These are also used by the Marines. It's actually called light crude marine gas oils. So they're not as volatile as the light distillates, but they take longer to evaporate and are moderately toxic. So try not to swallow more than a cup of these substances. First off, little disclaimer, I don't know why you'd be swallowing oil at all, but I'm not going to judge your lifestyle choices and decisions. So the third of these oils are called medium oils. Yeah, it's a very, very original name. So most of the crude oil available on the market falls into this kind of category. So these oils have a low volatility, but by contrast, the cleanups are messier and more complex. They also have high toxicity levels, and this is the kind of thing you hear about on the news when a ship runs aground or BP needs to make a quick buck. So the last of these kinds of oils are the heavy fuel oils. So these consist of grades 3, 4, 5, 6, as well as heavy marine oil. So this is what you see at the ports being pumped in and out of tankers. So now the spill of heavy crude can contaminate the groundwater and soil for thousands of years to come due to their high volatility. They're high toxicity. Now, their high volatility. Volatility is fire. Boom, dead. They don't burn as easily as the light crude oils do, or as the medium distillates. However, they can destroy the ground because they seep into pores in between the cracks, and so you can't get plant life that'll grow there. So now, there are over 160 different oils that are traded on the current market, but there are 3 primary ones. So we have West Texas Intermediate, BRENT Blend, and OPEC Basket. So these 3 represent the 3 major oil producing areas of the world that contribute to it. So we have Texas, North Sea, and the Middle Eastern countries, as well as Northern Africa, Indonesia, Mexico, Venezuela, and Colombia. This map is not updated. Now, the first we're going to be talking about is West Texas Intermediate. West Texas Intermediate is a light crude oil. It has an API gravity of 39.6 degrees. API gravity refers to the density of the oil in relation to water. Alright, if the number is greater than 10, the oil will float on water. If it's less than 10, the oil will sink on water. So West Texas Intermediate, or WTI, I'm just going to call it WTI, it's too long of a word, has a low sulfur content, about 0.24%, so it's very, very high quality oil, and it's extracted and refined in the United States. The United States, for those of you that don't know, is the world's largest gasoline consuming country on the planet. It may be the second one now, because China has a lot of vehicles on the road. So the production of WTI crude is in decline, but it ranges from $5 to $7 higher per barrel than OPEC, and about $1 to $2 higher per barrel than Brent Blend. That's just because of the low sulfur content, so it's a very, very pure kind of oil as it comes out of the ground. Next, we have Brent Blend. Now, Brent Blend is a combination of 15 different oil fields throughout the North Sea. The API gravity is 38.3 degrees. So it's still like crude oil. It's 0.37% sulfur, so it's not as pure as WTI, but it's very much up there. This is the number that you all see on the stock market. The oil that's traded, the oil price, is Brent Blend because it provides a intermediate between the WTI and the OPEC basket. Now then, so it's a combination of 15 different oil fields throughout the North Sea. So all of these little things, the Shetland Islands, down all the way to almost the Netherlands, that's where you'll find the oil rigs that are present in the North Sea. Now, the slight difference though, with that slightly higher sulfur content, it's actually perfect for making gasoline. And it's also refined in Northern Europe, of course, it's right there. There are hundreds of refineries sitting on the German coast, the Norwegian coast, the Scottish coast now. So it's refined, but it's also on the decline like WTI, only because there's not as much available. So yeah, there's that. And it's actually a great benchmark for other kinds of oils, especially synthetic oils, that are being synthesized in Europe as well as places in Africa. And it ranges about $4 a barrel higher to the OPEC basket. The only reason for that is because of that sulfur content. Now, the OPEC basket. It's a collection of several different crude oils from these countries that you see on the map, as well as Mexico, parts of Colombia, Brazil, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Angola. Now, as well as the United Arab Emirates, of course, and parts of Yemen, Bahrain, and Qatar. Now then, for those of you that are wondering, OPEC stands for the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. So all these countries export oil. Yes, the United States extracts oil from the ground, but it's used domestically. We don't actually export oil from the United States. Ever since the 1970s, when we had the oil crisis, Congress actually banned the export of oil in order for us to keep our own oil prices stable, as well as stabilize our gas prices, because that was a bad time. We'll just won't worry about that. Now then, the sulfur content of OPEC basket oil is much higher than that of Brent Blend, BB. So it's over 0.4% sulfur. So it's going to have the lowest prices out of all of the big three, WTI or Brent Blend. So that's the main reason why everybody wonders why countries purchase oil from the Middle East. It's because it has the highest sulfur content. So it's actually the lowest quality of oil that's available. But it's the cheapest that you can buy in larger quantities. West Texas is probably the best quality. However, because it's the best quality, you pay a price premium for that. So yeah, an advantage to OPEC is that it controls such a large percentage of the oil industry, so if something happens, they can quickly increase and decrease production to keep up with the changes in market demand. I mean, these guys here are led by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and so for those of you that don't know, Saudi Arabia currently holds the largest share of oil exports in the world. It's somewhere around 11%. So, I mean, that, as one single country, it has huge impacts on the price of oil. And that's kind of the reason why today in the United States, the price of oil is actually dropped. It's down around $40 a barrel, which reflects in your gas prices. For those of you wondering why it doesn't reflect in your airfare prices, well, it's because what's actually happened in the airline industry is the airlines have sort of self-regulated. They're decreasing competition in order to guarantee prices. So you are paying price premiums for it, but it's actually not done for the customer, it's done for the airline. It decreases the competition, but it makes it easier for the airline to run. And always, thanks for watching.